Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick video with a couple of pointers if you're installing a Ram Legend front bumper on a 4th generation Ram. This is my 2017 1-ton. This should also apply to any 3/4 tons, and it probably would apply to the other bumpers. I imagine they all mount fairly similarly, but in this case I got the Legend is what I wanted, so that's what I got. So I got the front and the rear bumpers after I got rear-ended by a Honda, which dented up the rear bumper enough that it needed to be replaced, and the insurance money I got was enough to pay for both the front and rear bumpers from Ranch Hand, so I decided to go that route. I've always liked the style of these and figured that now was as good a time as any to go for it. The front bumper actually was overall easier to install than the rear, I would say, but it did have a couple of little minor things. So I will show you. May actually be easier to see on the other side. So if you take a look right here at the frame rail, you can see where the bumper attaches to the frame rail, and it only attaches on the outer portion. The stock bumper actually kind of slips over the frame rail on both sides, and the real challenge that I had with that was trying to get the stock bumper mounts off. I had to use a combination of a Sawzall and angle grinder to get it all cut off. And what I did first was detach the bumper from the mounts and then try to attack the mounts separately, because the mounts have a flat plate basically in the same location. It's just a much smaller gauge steel. So that's what I did. It was kind of tedious, but on the whole it wasn't too bad. Once I had that, this bumper is quite heavy. I think it weighs right around 300 pounds. So what I ended up doing was I had a couple of friends over to help. We pretty much just used a floor jack in the middle here to jack it up, and then it balances really quite well, and so then between those we were able to get it to where you could just get a couple of bolts in, and once you got the first bolt in on either side, really you're home free. Then you just it's just a matter of wiggling it about to get it where it needs to go. The alignment, I would say maybe it's not 100% perfect, but it's certainly good enough that if you're not actively looking at it, you're probably not going to notice too much. And it's a truck. Something you may not be able to tell by looking at this is that I actually have hit a deer with it already. I've never hit a deer in my life. Kids distracted me, and is that? I don't know. I guess that's just dust. So, point I'm trying to make is you can't tell that I hit a deer. This thing did exactly what it's supposed to do. The deer basically came out of nowhere while the kids distracted me, hit me. I hit it right about here. The bull nose pushed it so that it didn't go over the truck, and then somebody came by and turned the deer into food, but the bumper did exactly what I was hoping it would do. So I definitely am a believer and glad that I put this on. Plus I think it looks really cool. One thing with these bumpers is that you do have the front hitch, which I've used to mount a winch. That was actually really useful when I went to go pick up my milling machine. I've got a couple of videos on that. And then it's got mounts for some additional lights. I'll probably put something in there eventually, but for now I'm just going to leave it alone. Maybe the only last thing that I'll note is that this does reuse both the stock parking sensors. Do not unplug them. And then it also reuses the stock driving lights, but it has adapter brackets to put them in place. So all in all, really not a difficult installation. You probably are going to want to have a friend around or two just because of how heavy this bumper is. And it is heavy. Again, it's roughly 300 pounds. But otherwise, really not a difficult thing to do. And you could do it in an afternoon, maybe give yourself a full day just if you're not rushing, but really nothing complicated about it. So I'm a believer in it. really high quality bumper, very happy overall, and happy to have these on my truck.